And I had directed some stage plays, and I'm very good with working with actors because I have a background in acting. So someone told me, come and help me direct this pilot, which I did. First day, I'm telling this DOP who's very experienced, nipe shot, frame it like this. Akanivumilia siku ya kwanza, siku ya pili alinitakanda akaniambia bro, naona huelewi vitu mingi about camera work na framing. Unaweza niachia hii wewe deal na actors, mimi deal na. I sat back and I was like, yo, this guy has given me an opportunity to go and learn more about this directing for TV thing.
Peter Kawa's impact has been felt in the Kenyan film industry. As an actor, he has been in County 49, Escape from Mogadishu. He has also produced and directed Lost in Time and Christmas Love featuring Abel Mutua. He has gone ahead and started a talent management company that now manages the likes of Melissa Kiolagat and Azziad Nasenya.
I just loved movies, watching movies, reenacting what the actors would do. But I never really thought that this is what I wanted to do. If anything, I wanted to be a lawyer. But somewhere along the way, you just grow into it. I tried it back in high school. I kind of excelled at it. And I was like, why not give it a try? And since that time, I've never regretted the decision. That was 17 years ago, 2005. How did I get it? I went for an audition. I just heard of someone who would have been interested in actors. I tried out, and he loved what I presented. However, he felt like he did not have an opportunity by then, like a slot. But then after a couple of weeks, he got a slot and they called me in for the job. Yes. It's been a journey. It's been a journey of trying things out. You start off from the very basic stage, being a theater actor, traveling theater, but then you continue growing, going to do stage plays, which is for public performances. And then you get extras for TV shows. And yeah, then you start, you ask for opportunities where you can become more of a featured actor. So it's usually a step-by-step kind of process.
Filmmakers say villains are what drive a story since the hero reacts to the villain's actions. Having played the villain turned hero in County 49, Peter Kawa has a unique perspective about the TV series.
The story was nice. I love the fact that the story was very relatable to the Kenyan audience. It was a political thriller, action thriller. And for me, I think playing the main character, I really enjoyed it because the character I played was a very grounded human being with emotions, who was flawed, wanted redemption. And much of what he was trying to do is just to find a way of appeasing his inner demons and also just trying to change perceptions even in the community and even to his family members. Yeah.
Peter Kawa almost plays a similar role in County 49 as he played in Escape from Mogadishu.
The characters the roles were not really that similar, because for Escape from Mogadishu this was an outright villain, but for County 49, this is a man who had done bad things, but he needed to find a way to redeem himself. So Mogadishu, he didn't really look for redemption, but for County 49, there was a man who was looking to clear his name. So why villains? I guess villains are colorful. You get to try very many things as a villain, but for a good guy, there is only so much you can do. You can only be the hero, and it's fun playing the villain, I guess.
Playing a villain in Escape from Mogadishu was a highlight to his career.
We went for auditions. We tried out. Many people had tried out for these different roles. I was privileged to have been picked for, the director kind of loved my first audition. I was called in for a second call, and I was given something different to try out, and I excelled at it, and I got the opportunity to play the role. I traveled to Morocco to film the whole thing, and the experience was beautiful, considering that it was an international set. I got to see how differently people do their production, the way unlike how we do it in Kenya. Not that in Kenya we do it badly, only that those guys have budgets. They've done it so many times in such a big scale, and you could tell it could be better back at home.
Peter Kawa's management company manages one of the most successful talents in the country, the likes of Melissa Kiplagat and Azziad Nasenya.
I have always been passionate about mentorship. I've always loved working with my fellow creators, and we talk about how best can we challenge ourselves or improve ourselves. And we realize you are on TV and many young people want to be like you, but they don't understand the process, the procedures of being what I've had to go through to become who I am. So you meet very many of them, but they don't know how. So you start imparting a bit of the information that you've had, the experience, into them. And pole pole, you start growing it into an enterprise. You realize you're putting in alto into them, and then now it becomes a business where now you input, there is output, you gawana the output, you invest a bit of the output into each other again, becomes a bit bigger, and here we are.
Most people came to know of Melissa Kiplagat when she played a role of an ambitious businesswoman torn between the city and the village in Country Queen.
Well, I started managing her way after she had got the role for Country Queen. But Melissa is an interesting person to work with because she's an actor who wants to improve herself. So working with her is pretty straightforward. You do not have to remind her to go through a monologue, read a script like 50 times, or even if she's not shooting, she's always preparing. And I love her because she also shares the same software that I run with, and that is mentorship. She handles workshops for artists. So that is why me and her, we agree well. So much of what we do together, even as a management, is kujipanga. Sometimes she can get a bit overwhelmed. So we agree that, I can cover her in terms of negotiating for her contracts. When she's going for an event somewhere, she needs some backup. That is how we work together. Yes.
Azziad Nasenya came to fame during the COVID-19 lockdown. But before this, she was already signed up by Peter Kawa's talent management company.
She's a perfect example of what we usually call opportunity meeting preparedness. And that is what becomes success. And we always encourage everyone out there, whatever you do, make sure whatever dreams you have, keep preparing, because you never know. That opportunity will present itself. And when it does, make sure that you are equipped enough to handle the fame, to handle the success that comes away. And for her, that is what she's been doing. She's also a media student. So that means even when you see her, expressing herself or doing whatever it is that she's doing, it's because she has been on this journey for quite a while. It's not something that just happened like this, but it's been a journey for her. Yeah.
Since going viral, Azziad has been able to create a personal brand that companies want to work with. This success has been credited to her management company.
We manage everything about Azziad. Yeah. We are grateful to have her trust us with her entire brand and most of the decisions she makes, even as a businesswoman. So we always work together to ensure, because at the end of the day, it's not us making some of the decisions, but it's a collaborative process between us and her, just to ensure that she becomes the person that she is today. So yeah, all of it. And when you talk about even her being on TV as an actor, you remember she was on Selena. She's done a couple more, which you will be seeing very soon. There's a new show on Showmax right now called Faithless. She's in the first episode, which again, you don't get to see her, but she's there. But very soon you'll be seeing a bit more of her. And there are many, many other opportunities coming. We won't say them, sahi, wacha mtazione huko mbele. But we are also, just apart from her being a brand ambassador, we want to show the world her different facets. As a businesswoman, as an influencer, as a brand ambassador, as a spokesperson, and more so even as an actor. Yeah.
When Azziad went viral, her DM was flooded with thousands and thousands of texts. To this point, her management tries its best to handle such situations.
We try our best to keep things formal through email. If you have any requests or anything that you need from her, we usually propose that we can talk on phone, definitely. But once we are done, you put across your proposal, you want to work with her because of 1, 2, 3. We always ask that you send everything via email, and then we go and discuss now as a team if this is a viable gig too. And some of them we can see right through them that they are not okay. And we just tell you, I'm sorry, unfortunately, we are not interested at the moment, but thank you for the opportunity. Yes, so it's how we circumvent the whole conversation. Yes.
Peter Kawa's relationship with Azziad is more of father and daughter, built on trust and friendship.
Above everything, before the business aspect of it, we were friends. We were friends way before we started managing each other. I started managing her. She was an actor, I am an actor. So even as we grow, one of the things we always keep constant is the friendship between us. And apart from just friendship, we've known so much about each other. We spent so much time together, and we've created a family. My wife, her spouse, sisi ni familia sasa. Yes, she knows my mother, I know her mother. So she's my small sister. At some point, we usually call her firstborn, me and my wife, but she's my small sister. Yes.
Peter Kawa went ahead to direct a thriller film called Lost in Time.
Well, Lost in Time is, like I said, it's a feature film done by Kenyans, for Kenyans in the world over. It's a very simple story of a man who lives a fearful life for his daughter. He's had his past demons, and he doesn't want to transfer the same, to his daughter. So he wants to be a better father. He has his past relationship with his father, which was not good. So he wants to be better. Unfortunately, stuff goes wrong somewhere, and he has to go on a journey of learning to forgive himself and to cut ties with, generational curses of insecurities and stuff like that. Yeah, so let's just call it. It also has a very heavy theme of mental health. Yeah, the company that did this film is called Film Lab Kenya. I am a part of director. We are 5 of us that run the company, Film Lab Kenya. So I was the director, stroke producer. We have Edijo, who was also the producer and writer. We have Jimmy Gore, who was the executive producer. Then Emmanuel and Liz, who are the production managers. So we shot it 2019. The experience was good, challenging definitely. We didn't have money, we didn't have budgets to run everything that we needed, but we got a lot of goodwill.
When you see a movie with a budget of 5 million shillings, what really makes the budget so high?
Technical. Technical, because cameras don't come cheap, sound equipment doesn't come cheap, and even logistics. I mean, feeding over 15 people on a daily basis for 19 days is not easy. Feeding them and transporting them, and you're not just feeding them, it's breakfast, chai ya saa 4, lunch, chai ya saa 10, then sometimes even dinner. So, I mean, you can't really put a finger on what exactly is cheap, but let's just say logistics and technical.
Christmas Love, another film directed by Peter Kawa starring Abel Mutua, tells the story of a dad torn between work and family.
Personal stories. I like, our Film Lab, what we do mostly is we tell stories from our own experiences. 3 of the directors in Film Lab Kenya are fathers and parents, actually. And so we draw our experiences on how we raise our kids, how we interact with our family, and we put them into our films. So Christmas Love was drawn out of that. How even us as men trying to balance work, family, and faith. How we try to balance all these aspects of our lives.
We have seen intimate scenes in Hollywood movies and very few in Kenyan films. Peter Kawa shares his take on this.
There are those who have no problem, and there are those who would actually be given permission by their spouses, and there are those who would not be given permission, and there are those who will just, whether they're given permission or not, it is their principle never to. And I'm among those people who I've never done any intimate scenes all my entire career, and for good reason. I've always felt like there are some lines I don't want to cross. Yeah, not that I would judge anyone who's done it, because again, like I said, people have different capacity of temperament. But if you're telling a story and you need to show people eating, people making love. If it serves your story, then by all means, you cannot discredit it. Unfortunately, I feel like I have seen projects where it is just thrown in there for the wow factor, So again, it depends on the director, but I've always felt like there's different ways of telling story. You do not necessarily have to cross some limits to tell your story, especially if it is not needed. Yes.
Hollywood movies are cultural. They have a mad following. People use their favorite characters as their wallpapers, and they create YouTube channels to analyze these movies. Can the Kenyan industry ever get there?
As I grow older, I am trying to learn not to compare.
Yeah.
Hollywood is more than 100 years old. Hollywood is in an economy that supports their arts, and not just us. They use the arts even for propaganda. So the government will even pump money. The military will pump money into the film industry. Kenya, we are toddlers. So we cannot really compare ourselves. And sometimes I try my best. I was in Berlin, was it in February? And for the Berlin Film Festival, these guys have been there for 70-something years as a festival. And I stopped even judging what to do as an industry. I was like, one day at a time. So when you ask me what it is that we need to do, I'd say we need experience, and we need over 50 years plus of experience to get to start even seeing ourselves with the likes of Supermans and the likes. But you see, for them, it has become a culture. But for us, we are still even trying to understand some of the basic things. So I will never take away the experience that we have as an industry. We are headed somewhere. That much I know. When you look at the likes of Akina Phil Karanja, we look at Akina Ruben Odanga, we look at Akina Jennifer Gatero, people are doing stuff. When you look at Akina Zamaradi, who are doing TV, and Akina Showmax, who are literally supporting the entire industry. Netflix is coming. There is something happening. And we have actors who are investing in themselves. We have directors who are now going out there and learning extra. I can never take it away from our industry as it grows. So me, what I can say is, what do we need? Experience and growth, one day at a time.
Peter Kawa's journey started in the early 2000s. He has grown from an actor to a talent manager. From his experience, he has some nuggets for upcoming filmmakers.
People take for granted this statement that says, Jani mrefu inaanzangana just one step. The Steven Spielbergs that we celebrate here for these years, that these guys, they started with, I have a story, it's good. How do I start? By writing it down.
Yeah.
You write it down and then you're like, I don't have the red camera, but there's a camcorder somewhere. You even borrow that camcorder from your parents, and you come up with friends and you stand there, you record it. And once you cut this thing together, you put it out as a film, you become a director. And when you're actually doing the credits, unaandikanga pale, directed by, that is a director. Pale chini unaandika written by. However flimsy it looks, you have started the journey. And don't stop. Because people will come and criticize your work, people will come and celebrate your work, people will come and tear your work down. But do you sit back and say, where? Nilichoma, or do you learn to? I'll give you an example. In 2013, I directed my first TV show, which was a pilot. I didn't know anything about, but I'd watched films, I'd watched YouTube tutorials, but I'd never really done anything to do with TV or film. I was just a theater director. And I had directed some stage plays, and I'm very good with working with actors because I have a background in acting. So someone told me, come and help me direct this pilot, which I did. First day, I'm telling this DOP who is very experienced, nipe shot, frame it like this. Akanivumilia siku ya kwanza, siku ya pili alinitakanda akaniambia, bro, naona huelewi vitu mingi about camera work na framing. Unaweza niachia hii, wewe deal na actors, mimi deal na. I sat back and I was like, yo, this guy has given me an opportunity to go and learn more about this directing for TV thing. That was in 2013. 10 years down the line, I have over 7 hard disks full of material about how to frame, how to direct movies and all these things. 7 hard disks. I invested a lot of time in just studying. Okay, so even as a director, people will tear down your work, but don't give up. keep learning with time, one day at a time, and you'll become these directors that you'd want to be celebrated for. I won't lie, I don't want to pretend that I usually get busy.
Yeah.
But I usually get very busy.